Many thanks for choosing us. The distribution of nomination forms turned chaotic in the Menchia North constituency office of the New Patriotic Party. Armed police had to be deployed to maintain order as constituency executives were accused of giving preferential treatment to some party members. Kofi Asare has more.
How can we break the 8 if these things are happening?
The party members protested a decision by the constituency executives to sell the forms to them when they had already been paid for by the Asante regional chairman of the party. The executives, however, explained Chairman Wuntumi paid for 1,000 forms to be given to incumbent polling station officers. New entrants were therefore not covered. Yao Geraldo is the chairman of the NPP election committee, Menchia North constituency.
The regional chairman has paid for 1,000 of the forms, and as it stands, we have about 2,000 and over forms here. So, should even the regional chairman pay for 1,000? Mathematically, Nyaobe will fall beyond the 1,000. Exactly.
This explanation did not go down well with the party members who had massed up at the constituency office to pick up forms to contest various positions at the polling station level.
If the forms are not given to us, there wouldn't be any election dimension of. That is what we are saying. It's not a threat, but we know what to do, whether we take it to court or anything.
My delegate, 12 years in here.
The first time here, and one moment experienced this fucking thing. And to my way, Yaniabre, I could follow your straw, Bram, and Prancer. Woman,
Though police intervened to maintain order, the angry party members struggled their way through to get their forms.
Police station executive Kakame Bayano. And I'm at you. Farm away. And I be police station out ready.
Yao Geraldo said the executives would have to consider postponing the process.
Some have received their own. If we are unable to share it today, then it means that we'll have to consider maybe postponing it to maybe 2 days or otherwise, just for everybody to get his or a fair share of the process. Investigations will be going on and we'll gather all the facts and get it to the regional executive committee so that proving will be done, so that the right measures will be taken to make sure that the constituency will have peace and order.
A report by Kofi Asare.
Also in Ningo Prampan, there was chaos where some party members accused some executives of holding nomination forms.
This is what is happening in Fred's house. I am on Facebook Live. This is what is happening in Fred's house. Fred, this is what is happening in his house. This is what is happening in Fred's house. Look at what they are doing.
They say one man to a form. And they are here and all the forms here.
Oh, stop what I do. Stop it. And look at Teria. 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 Look at what they are doing. This is a disgrace to the Pram. This is a disgrace to the Pram politics. This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace.
It's not a disgrace.
Why are you fighting yourself? Because we have a place to pick a form.
To pick a form.
Not
so
press house.
For the first place you coming, you are coming to attack the person.
No, we didn't attack. We didn't attack. You two are diabolic people. Diabolic. This is diabolic. Fred, you are a research officer.
Can you get out from my face here?
Okay. I will get out from you. I'll get out from you. You are selling forms.
Why are you here by this time?
You are filling forms. You are filling forms. You are closing it. Open it. Open it. Open it. Open it.
In Mampong, there was also chaos and alleged hoarding by executives. We'll be bringing you more on that, but you just saw the chaos the chaos that ensued in Ningo Pram and elsewhere. Let's see what happened in Mampong.
Constituency party office and about criminal forms it is a movie video MPP Panfua constituency secretary and chairman a fire mode and Panfua first war party first one meaning say Chakra no Mampong for NDC was that money as Yabriwa Hassan and Yasan Katua, Remy Jababi Falco, and I make up challenge to me now find the Ramu and to be Penny Abrepa ye Mampong Malek, any Luta, Chama Luta, and at the party Diabrono. More party no Diabrono, a young constituency secretary, constituency chairman, and I'm with the Diabrono. Some from Sridje and Yadia MPP Mano, Wamode Ebama Obibiar, already know a MP 16 Flodi Kakofa, and one Freddy, then Crawford, Ade Wapa Wamo, Anutino, Wadama, Obibo Tibiano, Obo, it is a set of Swing Mampo,
So we'll be trying to get more from Ohime Nteria, who's been monitoring some of the activities for us. We'll also be speaking to Director of Elections of the NPP, Evans Dimako, as to what the party makes of this whole thing and what investigations has revealed led to these chaos at the various centers. We'll take a break. We'll bring you all of that shortly. I've been joined by Ohime Nteria. He's a reporter from the Asante region. He'll tell us more about this chaos at the various centers. Ohime, what can you say? What really caused this confusion?
Thank you. From the information I have picked from some constituencies in the Asante region, there seems to be this confusion over the sale and distribution of nomination forms to people seeking positions at the polling station level and at some point at the constituency level as well. But these occurrences are notably happening in, say, Mampong, Menchia North, Kwadaso, and some other constituencies. But this morning, when I spoke to the regional chairman, Bernard Entry Boesiako, he has given the indication that the issue of non-availability of forms is over. There are two things that he mentioned. First, we have extended the polling station elections in the Asante region to 25th of next month to allow more people have the opportunity to pick their nomination forms. And then beyond the extension, the national headquarters has also made available some of the forms. So what it means is that at first, the supplied each of the polling stations with 25 forms times the number of polling stations in each constituency. But he says with the ongoing developments in the region, the arrangement has been made to supply them with 10 additional forms. So each polling station will have additional 10 forms to what they already have. And once they've also extended the deadline for the elections in the region, what it means is that more people will still have the opportunity to pick the nominations form. So for him, he believes the elections at the polling station level and the constituency level will be free and fair, provided the electoral officers who have been, the electoral committee that have been mandated to organize the elections liaise with the constituency and then the regional executives and even at the national level to ensure that everyone who has the option to stand to be elected will have that opportunity to be elected as well.
Did he indicate those causing the confusion would face some sanctions?
For Bernard Entry Buasiakon, specifically at the Menchia constituency, the Menchia North, for instance, he said there was miscommunication, and the miscommunication issue has been addressed, and that he has spoken to the Member of Parliament and then the chairman and then the electoral committee, indicating that once the issue has been resolved, there's no need to say sanction anybody, just that miscommunication caused the chaos. And he believes that with the arrival of more forms in the region, it addresses all sorts of these teething problems that they have at the polling station level. And so he has given the strongest indication that he will ensure that the elections are organized free and fair. And he's also happy that the level of enthusiasm, the patronage from the grassroots people of the party is what has brought all these issues. And he's happy that now MPP has become more or less attractive than how it used to be some years ago. And so he says all these issues will be addressed, and then all those who want to take part in the election at the polling station level will have that opportunity to do same. So sanctions, no, he didn't indicate that.
And you spoke with Chairman Wuntumi, who is the Ashanti Region Chairman. How did he indicate specifically that these issues will be dealt with?
Aisha, first, he mentioned the forms. He thinks that more people have shown interest in the elections than the national and the regional executives and even constituency executives anticipated. And because more people have shown interest, what it means is that the forms were not enough, and that people were struggling and then running around to get the forms. So henceforth, more forms have arrived in the region, and they are available with the regional secretary. So he says words have been sent to the electoral committee at the various constituencies to come for these forms. And once these forms are made available to the people at the grassroots level, he thinks that it addresses all the teething problems that they have encountered with these processes with time. So yes, the forms have been made available, and the electoral committee members have also been spoken to ensure that they give opportunity and open the nomination, allow people to pick the form at every point in time. And he even indicates that even if you go to the constituency level and you don't get the forms, you can go to the regional or the national level to pick some of the forms there.
Thankfully, Evans Nimako, who is Director of Elections and Research at the NPP, has joined us. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Nimako. Now, people are accusing party executives of hoarding forms. How do you respond to these accusations?
Hello?
Yes, Mr. Nimako, your news desk.
Yeah, Aisha, thank you for having me. I think the report from your correspondent in Kumasi will really change the narrative that we've had for the past 2 days. Aisha, this is a 16-day program that we've put in place, mandating the polling station and electoral area elections committee to make sure that all prospective aspirants are given access to procure forms to enable them participate in this all-important election. And so we expect that the committee, as well as well-meaning party members, will comply strictly by the rules of the game, the party constitution, as well as the rules and regulations that have been put together by the National Council. The very few issues that have come to us, the General Secretary, if you care to know, is now in Ashanti region and Bono region to see things for himself, to have first-hand information, and not to depend on so much of third-party report. It is true that in some few places, some disagreement may have occurred. It's because we are just into 2 days of the 16-day program. Saturday, Sunday, today is the 3rd day. For us at the headquarters, we've made available enough nomination forms to all the committee members, and in the event that they run out, they know how to procure more forms to be sold to all prospective candidates. We appeal to members to remain calm and go to appropriate offices to procure forms. We expect that people who have concerns will use the party internal mechanism to resolve all their concerns and seek the appropriate remedy. Sometimes the issues are blown out of proportion, and we are therefore appealing to the committee and to all prospective candidates that they need to conduct themselves within the directives given by the National Council.
So, but it appears that people are not actually complying to these rules that you talk about. How do you intend to resolve that?
Well, I beg to differ. We are conducting these processes in all the 38,622 polling stations. So it's a sizable number of places that we are conducting these elections. But as you put it, because you may have heard of some misunderstanding in some few constituencies, but I can assure you that there's no cause for alarm. Internal elections, and so sometimes some of these initial hitches are expected. The committee put in place are up to the task. We know they will deliver and make sure that all those who are supposed to participate, as given in the rules, IEB members in good standing in these polling stations, having their names in the party register, and also having party membership ID. And in the event that you don't have these, you have the opportunity of getting 2 members of the party in good standing vouching for your membership. And so, for some of the people making noise, few of the noise, are not even eligible. That is why we are appealing to well-meaning party members to respect and comply with all the laid down rules and regulations, as well as the party's constitution.
I'm grateful for your time. Evans Nemako, he's Director of Elections and Research at the NPP, and he says they'll resolve the issues and there's no cause for alarm. Let's move on to other stories. Almost half of all fire hydrants across the country are not functioning. That is according to the fire service. The situation exposes the country to the dangers of fire outbreaks as the service is handicapped in fighting fire. Here in Accra, many of them are either damaged, hidden, or with no water at all. My colleague Justice Baidu went in search of some of these hydrants.
This was the scene from one of the worst fire disasters in Makola, one of Ghana's largest markets, last year. A 3-story building razed to the ground, and along with it, property running into millions of cedis. When the fire happened in July 2021, the fire service, which is housed barely 500 meters away, spent hours in search of water before they could make it here. Onlookers said their delay was part of the reasons why the fire did the damage it did. Today, the traders are building back from the rubble. Right across the road, there is brisk business. It's a Saturday, Makola's big sales day. This is a fire hydrant tucked away just underneath the giant Makola Market building. It looks old and abandoned. You need to look really hard to find it. The traders here have displayed their wares on it. This woman sells earrings, and it is on the hydrant that she sells.
So this here is one of the many fire hydrants that are hidden inside the Okainshi market and also parts of the Makola market. In here, you could find a very busy day, a Saturday when market activities are at its peak, and you find traders selling their wares all around the hydrant. You have stuff, someone selling earrings, all around the hydrant. People sit around here to do their business, and many of the people who trade and do business here are not even aware that these are fire hydrants and do not know what to do around them in case there is fire. Fire hydrant, Debbie.
I don't know what a fire hydrant is.
When there's fire,
I'll run away. Everyone will run away. Even when there's fire, I don't think we'll find water in this hydrant. I know this is a fire hydrant, but I don't know anything about it. If I notice there's fire, I'll help fetch water to douse it. I know also that when you add detergent to water, it helps douse fire faster, so that's what I'll do.
I have come to Jamestown. This place used to be called British Accra, and many of fire services hydrants, a lot of them laid from the colonial days, are here. Mensah has lived in Jamestown for the most part of his life. He has come to show me one fire hydrant which is now filled with rubbish, choked, and looking like one that is out of use.
Titino say jato ha bebia a hire no fire for number connect insuo no won hwade no de dum ja no anom de ko bebe foforo e ko dum ja no ba nan say de ntse bio hydrant no ye won de dem de aye no.
This hydrant used to work. I don't know what happened to it.
I don't know.
There used to be water in it. We used to even fish from it. It became a refuse dump. People dropped stones, put leftovers, everything is dumped into it.
Back at Makola, business continues. But the traders here, many of them who have seen different fire outbreaks rip through the market in the past, know they are sitting on a ticking time bomb, not knowing when the next fire would come, and worse, not knowing if there would be a working hydrant with water to save them and their property. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
Well, in the studio here in Kokomlemle, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's bring in Nanaya Wakwada, who is Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. He joins us with more. Ms. Wakwada, I'm grateful for your time. Does it come to you as a surprise that we're having about half of our hydrants hidden?
Hey, good morning, Aisha. Good morning to your viewers. No, it does not come to us as a surprise. I indicated to your producer earlier that indeed this subject of fire hydrant, has been around as far back as 2012 when our record started at the Bureau of Public Safety. I mean, how many times have we not heard that tenders have gone to fire scenes and they've had to travel distances in order to refill their tenders to come back on fire scene. In those times, we've had to discuss why fire hydrants are not, in close proximity to properties and to facilities. One, I do not intend to do a rediagnosing of the problem because we know why we are where we are. We know that already because one, poor planning in terms of our spatial planning is poor. So areas where hydrants either too wet, if you go to a place like Tema in some spaces in Accra, people have mounted private properties on hydrants. And because of that, we are unable to access them. The lack of maintenance. If the Ghana National Fire Service, indeed, were maintaining these hydrants over time, perhaps we could have minimized, how private properties have swallowed these hydrants. And then also, of course, we know the Ghana Water Company also provides water to these hydrants. If the systems were properly structured so that the Ghana Water Company was resourcing these hydrants for fire prevention or firefighting purposes, I'm sure the story would have been different. So it's a complete collapse of the whole system of fire prevention, firefighting within our community. We have mentioned time and again that the act that set up the Ghana National Fire Service empowers them to also raise voluntary groups within the community, voluntary fire personnel within the community. These are non-salaried workers, non-wage staff, pure voluntary service for the fire service. These persons could have, be doing the maintenance and probably be filing monthly reports to the Ghana National Fire Service. But this has failed. And so we are where we are because of a cocktail of issues. We believe strongly that in order for us to be out of this, we must begin by, first of all, enforcing a stringent, property development rules that stringent property development rules, work with the town and country planning, which is now, I think, something special and something planning, work with them to ensure that we have hydrants at, within specified intervals across the city. And these hydrants will be, if you like, monitored by the community volunteers. With the structure, the framework of the law has already built the structure for us. What is left for us to do is the leadership, is the management of these systems, which is, unfortunately, we are lacking in that area badly, and that's why we find ourselves in where we are. But I believe that all is not lost. If we can begin to enforce, stringent planning laws, we can begin to enforce aspects of the act that establish the state fire service. We should be able to override some of these problems within the next couple of years.
And I'm grateful for your time. He's Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. He's been talking about the hydrants that are hitting, and he says it's not late. We can still go ahead and fix them to prevent fires. Now, the students of the Savelugu Senior High School in the Northern Region have refused to attend class, protesting meals offered them. They also have gone on rampage. The riot was sparked after they accused school authorities of feeding them with expired milk and tinned fish. The students also said the meals offered was very small for young adults like their type. The rampaging students pelted stones on the roof of the dining hall amid shouts of "we will not eat," among other chants. Speaking to JoyNews, one of the students said the protest was bound to happen, adding that it was just a matter of time because of the mirage of challenges they are facing.
It's something that is expected to do for a long time, but it couldn't happen earlier because we couldn't prepare. Now it has happened. It is the fact, it is the reality that it should have happened in case. And what the reason is that the students of Savage are not treated well as students are expected to be treated. And this is because the reason for the demonstration is that the way they treat us, example as our meal, the way the meal that we are taking is not enough, and they are giving us an expiring product like the milk that you can see, and the sarin and all other aspects of the food are not well prepared, and they are not even well cooked food for the students. When they consume it, their lives are in danger, or they are not in good health. So this one can lead them not to participate well in academic and other ways for all activities in life. And one more thing is that the school, we don't have electricity right now, it has started last semester, and it even took 1 week before they could solve it. And right now it has happened again, which is now about 4 days or so. And this is not all good for the students. Actually, we have been saying this, even to the masters, as my friend has said, we start for a general meeting and also SS meeting, and we speak out and we speak our problems to them, but we are not seeing any change.
Another student also raised similar concerns, but added that Muslim prayers in the school has been restricted to 3 minutes, something he says is woefully inadequate. This, he said, is not fair.
When they prepare the food and you take it 1 to 3, you will sick. And when you fall sick and you have to go out and buy medicine, they will ask you to come and sign an exit. After signing the exit, when you come back, you have to work for going out. But we don't understand the reason for signing the exit. How come that a person will sign an exit and come back and work again as a criminal? So what is the use of the exit? And the second is that when people give out their problem to the masters, they don't want to listen to them. We are obeying their rules, but nowadays we don't understand what they will need again. Because last week they came and told us that we have to stop the prayers, that is too long. Anyway, we didn't say anything. And just this past Friday, the head of the school told the gymnasts that their prayers are disturbing the prayer. But how come the people will be in a school and they can't participate or practice their religion? We don't understand all these things. And we are here to tell him that we are very tired about that. He has to stop whatever he is doing and listen to our issue that we have to him.
Martina Bugri joins us with more. Martina, what is the situation in Savelugu Senior High School as we speak?
The students continue to boycott the dining hall, even though some have attended, but I'm told majority have refused to have meals in the school, insisting that they want the right thing done. Aside that, they were called this morning by the school authorities to be addressed, and they refused to listen. The first 2 lessons for this morning were not attended, and so the students are on campus though, but are not attending classes. Some, I'm told, are heading towards the Savelugu Chief Palace, that's the UNAS Palace, to also lay a complaint. As we speak now, the Municipal Chief Executive, the Municipal Education Director, the PTA of the PTA Chairman, and some other executives are in the school right now to meet with the school authorities.
How are they, the school authorities themselves, responding to this?
Yesterday we tried to get response, but it was difficult. But today the school authorities have agreed to meet us later in the day and give us their side of the story and what they are doing to address the concerns being raised.
Martina Bugri is a woman in the northern region. We'll still monitor events and bring you updates on this event at the Savelugu Senior High School. The Ghana Science and Tech Explorer Challenge Prize is aiming at nurturing about 20,000 junior high school pupils through practical learning and the development of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. At a virtual meeting of stakeholders in STEM, Education Minister called for public-private sector collaboration in improving the delivery of STEM education right from the basic schools. There's more in this report.
Some enthusiastic pupils pitching a security alarm system at a hack event organized by the Ghana Science and Technology Explorer Prize G-Step. The initiative is part of a 3-year program aimed at challenging students to develop innovative ideas in dealing with societal problems. At a virtual meeting of stakeholders in STEM ahead of the G-Step Pilot Challenge Prize, Education Minister Dr. Yawose Iduchum said STEM education is the bedrock of Ghana's transformation agenda.
STEM has been prioritized, but we also understand the expertise in STEM is vested in the private sector. Education as a public sector enterprise is just trying to catch up. We have the expertise at Nesta, at Dreamover, at MEST. These are the entities that have the expertise in this country. Their partnership with the Ministry of Education will unleash that talent for the benefit of our students.
Delivering a speech on behalf of the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Madam Olivia Opare, listed some initiatives undertaken by the service to improve the STEM delivery.
Training of science and mathematics teachers under the SIP project, and that's a secondary education improvement project. Training of science teachers on the effective use of science equipment, and it is ongoing. We are training about 670 senior high school teachers on the effective use of the science equipment and then chemical supply.
Starting June 2022, the G-Step Pilot Project Prize is expected to be launched. The competition is targeted at tasking GHS students in Greater Accra and Asante regions to come up with creative projects. Senior Vice President at Dream Oval Foundation, Francis Ahene Afu, gives more details.
In August, we're going to do the assessment and selection of the projects that have been submitted. So we're going to narrow down all submissions to 100 finalist groups. And then the final support comes in between September and October, where we mentor and coach and support them. We're going to have the final assessment in November, and that will be the pitching and selection. This is where the children, the groups created, will bring the project that their mentors and coaches have helped them to shape, to submit it to a panel. And then in December 2022, we're going to have the exhibition and award ceremony.
The 3-year G-Step program, which is run by a consortium of 5 organizations, will engage and equip 20,000 young Ghanaians with the skills, support 500 teachers to grow their confidence in engaging the minds of young people in STEM.
Oh, they have done it! Science! Fire! Double fire!
We'll take a break on JoyNews desk. We'll bring you more in business.
Okay, we are on now. Welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwao. The Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCo, has launched an electronic payment platform which allows customers purchase power in the comfort of their homes. NEDCo is partnering Broad Spectrum to offer this service. Speaking at the launch, Managing Director Osman Ayuba said the product was designed in response to customers' call for a more flexible and accessible medium through which they can buy power. Here's more.
The e-platform has 3 forms that one can buy power, either by an app, a web, or through NSSB, where you follow a prompt like it is done in the mobile money business to buy power. The e-platform is set to allow customers purchase power wherever and when they want. Speaking at the launch, the managing director of NEDCo, Osman Ayuba, said the product was born after customers called for a more flexible and accessible medium they can buy power.
The product has been on trial for a few months now, and we are proud to announce that the transaction success rate so far has been tremendous. In fact, my manager ICT tells me that month on month we are having over 50% increase every month. This is very laudable.
A board member, Chief Musa Badum Sugru, who represented the board chair, appealed for support to enable NEDCo install more prepaid meters in the area.
As you could see there on the ground they were showing, this would be our savior. Fortunately, our original minister is here. And we have seen that prepaid meters installation is what is going to save this country.
The Deputy Minister for Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, commended NEDCo for their initiative, but appealed for the inclusion of those who are not using smart meters.
While commending NEDCo on this, I have been informed that the platform is not available to users of non-smart meters like myself. I hope you will change my meter to the smart one, so that people like us who are absentee residents, who leave our homes in the care of our security, can manage our consumption, monitor our consumption, and then the bills for that matter. This could be denied a significant number of your customers the benefits of this fine initiative. Accordingly, therefore, I wish to task the management of NEDCo to take urgent steps to broaden the scope of this initiative in a manner that makes it all-encompassing, so that the positive ends of it are reaped by all. Ladies and gentlemen, the ministry has also not been impressed about how NEDCo has managed materials of the ministry in your stores. This has caused the government significant losses, and this should not be allowed to continue. It would therefore be appropriate that your digitalization program also addresses the problem of stock management and accountability to ensure value for money for the people of Ghana.
Now, Ghana is aiming to become the best cybersecure country in Africa from its current third position. This, when achieved, will open more doors for investments in the digital space and improve on confidence in the country's economy. According to Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esther Osei-Kuffour, this target is achievable looking at the significant investment government is pushing into the cyberspace. She was speaking at the inauguration of an 11-member governing board for the Cybersecurity Authority in Accra. Here's a report. The Cybersecurity Authority under the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization has been in charge of efforts by government to safeguard the country's cyberspace. This has positioned Ghana as the third best country in Africa with robust cybersecurity systems. The authority, after achieving this feat, is now aiming to be the best on the continent. Speaking at the inauguration of the 11-member governing board of the Cybersecurity Authority, Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esther Osei-Kuffour, challenged the authority to strive hard towards achieving the new targets.
Our duty is to ensure that we attain this objective that has been set for the organization, but it is doable, because being third was attained within the last 3-4 years. And so if we aim at being number one within the next 5 years, I think it's doable. We've also ratified the Budapest and Malabo Conventions, which is the African Convention on Personal Data Protection and Cybersecurity, and the European Convention on Cyber Crimes. And I think we're one of the few countries on the continent which has done both. And that's also a source of pride for us.
Mrs. Osei-Kuffour urged the board to support the authority because the country cannot sustain its achievement in the digital ecosystem without cybersecurity due to rising online attacks.
Where we all recognize that digitalization underpins our socio-economic development, and security of our cyber installations and interactions is the other side of digitalization. For we can't sustain our efforts at building our digital economy without focusing on cybersecurity, because cyber attacks could undermine all our gains in digitalization. It could destroy our social and economic well-being and our national security.
Minister for National Security, Minister for Defense and Acting Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority are some of the members of the governing board. And that's business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Sports is coming up next.
It's time now for sports with Town the Village. I'm already excited because you know the noise about us and Kotoko. Yeah. But of course, we're still the masters, you know that. Even though it was a draw game.
Masters in
the game, you know it. It's hats all the way, you know that.
Well, you can say that again, but this season doesn't look like the season most Hearts of Oak fans really wanted. Considering the fact that they won the Ghana Premier League last season, they won the FA Cup, the most prized competitions in Ghana football. They won these titles, and for the first round of Premier League to end, for Hearts of Oak to be 12 points adrift Asante Kotoko, it's not one thing that many supporters of the club
are happy about.
Would be happy about, but they will always be happy that even if they're not able to beat any opposition, Kotoko shouldn't take maximum points away from them. And this was just what we witnessed on Sunday when the two sides met at the Accra Sports Stadium. Either side created loads of opportunities. Asante Kotoko looked like the team that had better chances of scoring, but unfortunately they met a wall in Richard Atta, who was incredible yesterday, and even raised questions about why he didn't get the opportunity to start in the Black Stars setup, because he's shown over and over again that he's arguably one of the best goalkeepers we've got in the country. During his days at Elmina Sharks, this was a player who had gone about 31 games without conceding a goal.
Wow.
And here, he's doing wonders for Accra Hearts of Oak. So, the man who stood between Kotoko and getting all the maximum points was Richard Atta. And there were also other players you'd look at and say, these were brilliant players, they all stood out. This was an opportunity for Obin Jr. to bury the game for Hearts of Oak. Unfortunately, he hit the upright of the post. I just think that if he was calmer in front of goal, this was a chance for him to score. But unfortunately, he was not able to bury it. And the conversation, however, has not been on the game itself. It's been about what the coaches said after that, where the head coach of Asante Kotoko said that he felt this was a game Hearts of Oak upped their game.
Yeah.
And he said he stands to be corrected, but he believes that this was the best performance of Hearts of Oak so far. And he got a retortion from the coach of Hearts of Oak, Samuel Bode, who said that Kotoko cannot beat him. If he had used the junior side of Hearts of Oak, that is Aroras, Kotoko still would not have won. And this has generated serious conversation on social media. As of last night, Samuel Bode was trending #1. And this one, the super clutch.
But I want to agree. I want to agree with him. I mean, Hearts of Oak. You can make.
Are you speaking from a fanatic point?
See, it's not just about making noise. It's about the experience. You've just spoken about the goalkeeper.
You see
how Kotoko had all the opportunities, but there was a standing block.
Aisha, there was a standing block. In the game of football, there will always be standing blocks. Richard Atta was the wall between Kotoko and the maximum 3 points in this game. But I clearly think that a coach in the caliber of Samuel Boadu should accord opponents some respect. If I were the employer of Samuel Boadu, I'll ask him a question. If with Aroras, Kotoko cannot beat us, with the senior team, we should be beating Kotoko.
Okay.
That's a question I would ask. I clearly don't get the anger surrounding the comment of Prosper Natawagum, because he said he stands to be corrected, but he thinks this was the best game of Hearts of Oak so far.
Okay.
If that's not the best game, you correct him because he says he stands to be corrected. But when you say that even the junior side of Hearts of Oak, when you are managing that team, Kotoko cannot beat you, I think that's quite disrespectful for an opponent. And in the game of football, sometimes you need to accord each other some respect. And he didn't show respect to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Maybe people can take him on for his comments, but he has a right to make his comments too. So,
but I think it's in the way. Sometimes it's just the approach. But I mean, if you look at it from the other side, it shouldn't actually generate any controversy. So
it shouldn't generate any controversy, but it would if the tone of the message.
Exactly.
Is disrespectful.
It's the tone in their approach.
Even if you was a bit funny with it, if you had created some kind of joke surrounding it, saying that, oh, even during my days at Mediama SC, Kotoko never beat me, and I don't see how Kotoko is ever going to beat me, even when I'm using it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure people would take an offense.
Okay.
But when you say that even the genocide of Hazard Kotoko cannot beat you, it's quite disrespectful.
But is it the truth?
It can never be the truth. Since 2013, Hazard have won just twice at the Accra Sports Stadium against Asante Kotoko. 2017 and last season. So to say that this, I'm not sure.
That can be the truth. But of course, we're still the masters, and we never say that.
Continue to celebrate.
It's still,
continue to enjoy because you're the defending champion.
Oh, definitely. So yes, whichever way you want to interpret.
I like your excitement this
we're
morning.
We're still the masters. Thank you, Muftar Nabila, for bringing us sports, and that will be it for sports. That's it also for News Desk. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll get updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.